Albino crocodile. Imagine being in Louisiana navigating through murky waters and suddenly seeing something that shines as if it were polished marble beneath the black water. It is not a log, it is an albino crocodile. In the world there are very few, and specimens like Vino or Claude have become global celebrities. Unlike their olive green relatives that disappear into the mud, this animal is a living beacon for predators. Albinism is a genetic condition where the body does not produce melanin. What does this mean in terms of survival? That this animal has no camouflage. An albino baby crocodile is basically a bright snack for any heron or large fish. That is why almost all the ones we know live in zoos. In the wild, their life expectancy is almost null. In addition, they have a problem that, as a biologist, I find fascinating. Their skin is extremely sensitive to UV rays. Without the pigment that protects them, the sun burns their skin and damages their eyesight. They are ghosts that can only thrive in the shade. Snowflake the gorilla. If we talk about celebrities, none like him. The only albino gorilla documented in the history of humanity was found in Equatorial Guinea in 1966 and lived almost all his life in the Barcelona Zoo. Seeing him was an experience that the brain took time to process. A silverback gorilla, but one that was actually a pure white with pink eyes. But here comes the part that most prefer to ignore, the scientific lesson that we must learn. Snowflake's albinism was not a happy accident of evolution. It was the result of inbreeding. Genetic studies reveal that his parents were uncle and niece. Nature tells us something clear here. When genetic diversity is reduced, these recessive traits appear that, although beautiful, bring weaknesses. Snowflake died of skin cancer, a direct consequence of his lack of pigment protection. An animal that inspired tenderness in millions, but that carried an absolute biological loneliness. He was the last and the first of his kind. The white whale forget about Moby Dick. Fiction falls short in the face of Migaloo. This humpback whale was first seen in 1991 off the coast of Australia, and since then the whole world has followed her as if she were a rock star. Seeing a 40-ton giant emerge from the deep blue with a body that seems carved in pearl is possibly the most intimidating and beautiful image that nature has produced. Migaloo is so special that the Australian government created specific laws to protect her. No one can approach within 500 nautical of her. She is a living submarine that breaks all the rules of visibility in the ocean. Unlike other albino animals, Migaloo's size protects her. A whale of this caliber does not care about being seen because almost no one in the sea would dare to bother her. However, scientists have noticed that she also suffers from skin problems due to sun exposure at the surface. Even the kings of the sea have a price to pay for being different. White lion. Many believe these lions are albino, but this is where we enter class technicalities. Most are leucistic. Leucism is different from albinism because the animal still has pigment in the eyes, which are usually blue or golden, not red. Originally from the Timbavati region in South Africa, these lions were considered divine by local cultures for centuries. And it is not for less. A white lion is not an error, it is a genetic variant that has survived, despite the fact that, in theory, their lack of camouflage should make it impossible for them to hunt in the golden savanna. But biology gave us a surprise. Studies show that white lions hunt with the same efficiency as normal ones. They have learned to use moonlight and shadows in a different way. They are silk warriors in a world of thorns. The albino raccoon. We all know the raccoon is the bandit with a black mask that raids trash cans at night. But what happens when the bandit loses the mask? The albino raccoon is a rarity of 1 in 10,000 without its black markings around the eyes, which function as natural sunglasses to reduce glare and improve its night vision. This raccoon is at a total disadvantage. It is a ninja that shines in the dark. Its life in the urban environment is a constant challenge. It is too easy to see for coyotes or dogs. It is a reminder that in nature, even the smallest detail like a spot of color has a vital biological engineering function. The albino crow. The crow is the symbol of darkness of black intelligence that watches us from the cables of the post, but the albino crow breaks all the mystique. It is an animal that is usually rejected by its own flock. In many species of birds, the color of the plumage is fundamental for recognition and mating. A white crow is a stranger to its own kind. In addition, its feathers lack the melanin that gives them structure and resistance. They wear out faster, fly worse, and are an easy target for hawks. It is a feathered ghost that lives on the margins of avian society, demonstrating that beauty sometimes comes accompanied by exclusion. The albino alligator. Many people confuse the crocodile with the alligator, but their stories of albinism are different. In the Aquarium of the Americas in New Orleans, specimens like spots became iconic. They have a yellowish-white tone that makes them look like wax statues. Like their cousins, their greatest enemy is not another predator, but the metabolism of their own skin and their sensitive eyes. They are animals that require intensive care, special diets, and controlled lights. Science has managed to keep them alive so that we can understand the fragility of genetics. An albino alligator is proof that nature sometimes produces treasures that it itself cannot sustain. Albino white-tailed deer. We close with one that seems taken from a fairy tale. The albino white-tailed deer. In places like Wisconsin, there are areas where they are actively protected. For many indigenous cultures of North America, seeing one was a spiritual sign of great importance. But scientifically, they are animals with very poor vision due to the abnormal development of the retina from lack of pigment. A deer that does not see well, and that is white in a green forest, is a guaranteed prey. However, where the human being has decided to protect them and eliminate predators, these ghosts have managed to create small populations. An example of how our intervention can alter the rules of natural selection to preserve what we consider beautiful